Hi, greetings, it's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this is video number 11 for our Entrepreneur Series. And I want to talk about marketing in this video, and so I'm going to give you some ideas for you to consider as you relate the marketing plan section of your small business plan. And I have a whole nother video series here on YouTube for you to check out if you really want to learn more about marketing, so you might check that out. So this video really is to give you some things to consider as you get your product and services together and you start to really think about who you are as an organization and how your customers are going to find you. So we're going to talk about some of the basics of a marketing plan, how to develop a effective pricing model, how to differentiate between various types of promotions available, and some things to consider as a new business, and then identifying methods for managing your sales. So there is a lot to really think about as you're guessing, and even forecasting sales is an important consideration for you as a business owner or business co-owner. You got to really be able to really take a look at who your market is, or where your market is, and who your target customers are, and then be able to determine what your pricing model is, develop promotions, and then determine sales management procedures. So distribution channels are also a really big consideration. You know, a marketing plan should be a major part of your small business plan. And the more clarity that you can get in your plan, the better. You can't be all things to all people, right? So you really have to be very clear on how you are going to attract customers to your company, and essentially that's what your marketing plan is all about. First thing you have to do is be very, very clear on who your market is. Identify that. You really have to have a focused approach to marketing to customers, and you have to be able to identify what the best price is to meet those customers. You have to consider the advertising costs as you approach those customers. You have to target the right geographic area with the right marketing tool for success. And you have to estimate what you can do with the least resources to reach the most people as efficiently as possible. I suspect, like you, your resources are limited, like most organizations. Your target customer really is key to success. You can't be all things to all people. And a lot of people say, well, yes, I can. And if you really understand marketing, you got to recognize you can't. So you've got to be very, very clear and learn how to segment the market that you're seeking. You have to identify who those specific customers are that meet your criteria. A few questions to help you are: how many exist within your market area? What percentage of these could you attract? What percentage of the general population use your product? And do these numbers match your cash flow projection? And what do you need to change if they don't? Many companies are going online for all or part of their business. So you have really got to be smart in how you do that, because essentially you're competing with the rest of the world when you go online. And it certainly helps open up a market share. I think this really was one of the downfalls of Kmart. When the internet started getting big, Kmart chose to just put a business card that said find a location near you, essentially. Remember our blue light special, something to that effect. And Walmart, on the other hand, a smaller company at that time, said, hey, let's use the internet and gain as many sales as we can. And so they became the number one low-cost, gigantic resource for cheap, crappy goods. You know, they can't be all things to all people, but you can't deny that they have the corner market on lower cost goods. And so it's their business model. Walmart is not for everybody, just like Kmart is not for everybody, and just like Nordstrom's is not for everybody. So you have to be very clear on who your customer is. And you got to make sure that any marketing that you do keeps them in mind. So your web presence truly is a significant factor. Many companies use search engine optimization techniques to improve their chance of being seen. And you don't have to study up on it. You certainly can hire a marketing company to make sure that they build a SEO, search engine optimized website for you and do the constant updates to help keep you competitive. Let's talk now about how to develop a pricing model. Pricing of your product or service is critical in your new business. It can make or break you. You can value your products for what you believe they're worth on the market. Most businesses charge some sort of a premium, and the higher the profit, the faster competitors would challenge your business. So you have to keep that in mind. You will always have new competitors come up, or old competitors that change their plan. Let's talk about pricing floor. Your pricing floor is your break-even point, or the lowest amount that can be charged for a product or service while still making minimal profit. One method is a cost-plus pricing method, and you've got to include an estimated cost for marketing, and this cost may change, so adjust your price as you refine your marketing plan. Loss leader. A lot of bigger companies use loss leaders to attract people into their stores. Personally, I advise against loss leaders until your businesses gain momentum. You really can't afford, when you're first starting up, not to have enough profit in order to sustain you. Loss leaders can become a burden if customers only purchase these products and other profits aren't offered. So you have to be aware of the advantages and disadvantages of a loss leader. These products are usually sold at non-operating loss. That is, the price only accounts for the actual cost of the product to simply get your customers to your store. Cost plus pricing. This is pricing in which the entrepreneur initially determines the cost structure and then determines what profit margin is desired and then adds to that cost. The plus can be a percentage, and it's partially determined by competitors' price and company overhead. Charging more than competitors must be justified and have merit with customers. So, pricing a service. When you're pricing a service, this is a bit more complex. Time is the base of operational cost. There's still overhead, but your education and experience are the value inputs. Pricing services requires closer examination of competitors' pricing, and pricing is a valuable tool to balance customer flow with your time available. So with pricing, a startup should offer greater value for what the money charged to build a customer base. Small increments of money should be avoided. The new business owner will need to determine if they wish to offer a quantity discount. So with promotions, these are business advances for product and service. And there are pure promotions, mixed model promotions, and virtually free promotions. So let's talk about what a pure promotion is. And they are strictly financial arrangements in which you pay for some outputs, such as radio advertisements. Mixed model promotions are promotions that cost something but also have an element of community support. And then virtually free promotions, these are promotions that have very limited financial costs but have time commitment requirements from individuals in the firm. So with pure promotions, you can use signs that help people remember. They're simple but distinctive. You could use flyers. They're cheaply produced but may have little impact. Your web and the internet. Definitely hire specialists to do this. You want to do it right. Newspapers, they can send out a broad shotgun promotion. Radio and TV, these are the most difficult option, and they're really costly usually. And then trade shows. They're expensive, and so you really have to focus your efforts. Many companies look at Black Friday as a way to attract customers. It truly is the busiest shopping day of the year, and it's the day right after Thanksgiving. So mixed promotions and community support should be considered. Schools are in constant need of sponsors, and then sponsoring allows you to get a maximum exposure to your target customers, like sports teams, clubs, or events, and you can be seen as a positive organization when you are helping do promotions with that. Local churches also may be looking for sponsors to help with activities with their youth groups. Some products just naturally lend to wanting to be associated with these churches and schools and stuff. Virtually free promotions. These are widely referred to as bootstrap marketing because they require little capital. They utilize speaking opportunities with schools, clubs, and other religious groups, and they help you make a generic and a simple promotion, and then it'd be really a good idea to try to get on local news or talk shows too. A lot of people are doing that. For sales management, this method is used to help build and maintain relationships with customers. You want to make sure that you are using software that help you understand your customers and help you manage the sales process. So here's some sales management issues you have to consider. 1, how many contact points will the business have with each customer? 2, how will each customer be greeted? 3, what is the process for managing a customer once an order has been placed? 4, what look will the sales force present? 5, what controls are in place to ensure the quality of the product delivery? 6, how much information will be collected on each customer? And then 7, what will the business do with the information collected? So you've got to have a sales management system available, and then you could readily find one using Google, and then you should be choosy in picking the right one. It will give you a consistent approach and help you deliver a desired look. It should help you round your mission, meet your mission goals, and boost your business. The process starts with hiring a sales force. You need to make sure that you develop a relationship with your customer. Returning customers are looking for understanding of their needs, and relationship management is a process and should be practiced. Forecasting sales is really important. You can't just do business as usual. You need to be able to be prepared, and so recognizing market potential gives you a macro look at the market. It helps you estimate sales based on the number of potential consumers within your target area, and that number is modified by a likely percentage of those attracted to a business. Customer demand, this also gives you a micro look at the market, but it estimates the number of customers the business can handle given its location, staffing, and other details. You should really estimate how many customers that it will take to break even or make a certain amount of profit. Distribution channels are something that we talk about in marketing all the time, and it really is important that you are very, very clear of the geographic location that you're serving. You need to make sure that you consider independent sales agents, contracting a sales force, making sure where your web pages reach and how they are received, and then mail order category, certain what some companies are using. Independent sales agents, these are people who represent a variety of products for a number of companies, and in any domain they'll try to sell those products. The independent representative receives a percentage of the sales. They will promote products on which they can make the most money, and for success it really is critical to secure the right representative at the right price. Contract sales force. You can hire a sales force for a given period of time. This is expensive usually, but it really could make the biggest difference in getting your product or services out there. So when you contract a sales force, you really have to be aware of how they do business and the contract that stipulates how they're going to do what they do. So sales and marketing, they go hand in hand. And there are always going to be problems that will take place that you'll have to come up and make some better decisions about as they emerge. With web pages, you need to make sure that you're very clear on who your competitors are and that you have a fixed site, www.nameofyourcompany.com. Your web page should display the products as well as answer questions. Think about you as a consumer. Why would people be attracted to go to your website in the first place? Good websites should allow people to finish transactions and make a purchase. It's important to make sure that you're maintaining your website and make sure that you have enough products or services to fill any orders. So sometimes things get a little more complex as you start becoming more popular and you start selling more products. Mail order catalogs are a consideration too. And sometimes organizations don't have any fixed location but use mail order catalogs to reach customers, and so you have to identify who those potential customers are, and sometimes you can do that by buying a mailing list. One of the challenges are credit card sales and returns, and so there's a lot of credit card fraud going on out there, and you want to make sure that you're properly prepared to face these needs, and then also consider transaction fees. Alright, I've given you a lot to consider in this 11th video in my entrepreneurship series. This video covered marketing. We talked about a variety of different topics. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've taken away something that you can use. And more important than that, I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.